You guys, we're so lucky to be here. Happy Tuesday. It's Tuesday. I've been flying a lot.
Tuesday.
I don't know
With
what day it is.
Pre-hump day.
well,
Yeah.
we are with Whitley Dykes from Dumps Like a Truck, but so
what?
glad to be here because of the snow outside. It's crazy.
Oh.
The
I mean,
blizzard.
Yeah,
the
did you
blizzard
have
of
to, like,
Auburn.
Yeah.
sled here, you know?
That's why I was late.
Whitley owns Dumps Like a Truck, which is a food truck in Auburn, and I'm going to let you tell us a little bit about it. Just
Cool.
go
Right
for
now?
it.
Yeah,
well,
it's all
woo!
you.
Okay.
But we're gonna drink wine too in a minute. Go ahead.
Yes, there's some wine here. I smelled heavy wine when I walked around. I'm like, I'm in the
It's 'cause
right
Amy's
place.
already been drinking. That Amy.
I was wondering why they have you guys got the goblet, and the guest of
I
honor
started
has
it
like a little
last
sip.
night. Well, no, you know.
No,
You-
it's fine. I got to drive back home. So Dumps Like a Truck. Gosh, I don't even know where to start really. I should be better at this by now. Dumps Like a Truck is an authentic Chinese dumpling truck. We started out making authentic bao and dumplings, and the idea behind it was to give locals a taste of China. I lived in China for 8 years, and to also provide a taste of home for Chinese students who come over here, because there's a bunch of them.
There is. I love
Right?
that.
Yes,
Mhm.
we want to get, like when I lived in China, Starbucks was my place to go, and I'd walk into Starbucks, it smelled and felt like home. And so like when I was there, it just gave me a sense of peace, and we want to kind of provide that for the students who live here as well. But yeah, we also want to do something cause driven attached to it, because I'm very missional and ministry minded, and so we started out with the idea. The reason we named it Dumps Like a Truck is because it's dumplings, but then we also have a mission to the dumps, where, you know, Dumps Like a Truck comes from the thong song with Cisco back in the day. And a lot of the young people don't actually understand
It's
that.
multi-layered, right?
It
I
is.
did right away.
It
I
is.
was like, I mean, every time I say
Yeah.
the name Dumps Like a Truck, I have to go, what? Like, it just
Right.
automatically goes in my head.
Right, and so like I
I
have to
can't-
educate these young folks. Like I'm like, I always have to put the music in the background or something, so that they at least, like, oh my gosh, it's a song. I just
It's
thought it
a
was
song.
a stupid name, but the original idea was to put thong sandals on the feet of children who live in third world dumps, because if they get a cut on their foot, they don't have access to medical care. They could lose their foot. They could die. I mean, just something very severe. But you know, as we looked into it, we're like, we don't just want to put a Band-Aid on things. We actually want to attack the root of poverty, and so we partner with some nonprofits. We're looking to start our own nonprofit later this year.
I
We
saw
heard it here first. Breaking news.
Yeah.
No. But yeah, we partner with them, and what they do is they work hands-on. They partner with churches over there. They feed them. They sponsor them to go to school. That way and they raise them up. They kind of train them in love for country, how to be a servant amidst, you know, your crappy situation. They try to teach them to find the beauty in things over there, so it trains their mind to not focus on the negative. It gets them off the streets. It gets them. I mean, these kids are 8 years old and addicted to drugs, huffing stuff. They join gangs, things like that. So it provides an outlet for them to get kind of raised in righteousness and how to be a world changer despite your circumstances. And so by the time they finish school, they already are very service minded and know what it's like to give back to the community. And so they can effectively do that now that they can, you know, either go get a job or something, you know.
I
So
love
It's
that.
fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's
we
awesome.
think we have problems in this country.
Yeah, we do.
And we don't. Well, we do, but we don't think about what's going on in other places like that. And I love that you are, you know, giving back, and that you recognize that there's problems like that, and there's children, especially when it affects children. It's just so. That's so heartbreaking. And so it's 10% of proceeds, right?
At the end of the day, we probably give away about 30% of our money.
That's
so
amazing.
Yeah, well, we got good customers as well.
Yeah.
So we don't cut like.
Every time I drive by, the
Yeah.
line is from, I'm going to say it, from hell. I'm like look at it, which is an awesome, beautiful
Yeah.
problem to have.
Yes,
You know, I love that.
Yeah.
So when did you guys first open?
We opened, oh man,
How
it was
long have you been in
December
business?
5th. So when I moved back from China, it was April of 2016. Didn't think I was going to live. You know, once you get out and you like see the world.
Yeah.
Because I went to high school here. Once you get out, and I never thought I
Yeah.
was going to move back to Auburn, but
You're OFA. I
Well,
meant
yeah.
to mention
Yeah.
that
You
after
are
our
OFA.
last
Are you OFA?
conversation.
well, I don't see. No, I have no idea what that means.
Oh!
So I was gone too long. What was
Welcome.
OFA? Yeah.
Originally from Auburn.
Oh yeah.
So you're totes
Well,
OFA.
High school. Yeah, I
Okay,
went to
so
high
what-
school.
No,
We
I
I don't know
bounced
if you
around a
can
little
claim
bit,
it.
so-
We'll have to ask Jana on that.
Eighth
Bring
grade,
her
to,
back in.
eighth grade to 2 years in college. So I claim
That's- you
Auburn's
have
my
to
home.
claim
My
it
mom's here. My
now,
sister's here.
yes.
So yeah.
Auburn's such a great place to come back to.
It is, and to raise a family family and stuff.
Mhm.
But I you know, like I was a different person back when I
Sure.
lived here, and so like a lot of my memories were tied to were negative concerning this place because I was just a very different person. Like I just sucked, and so I was like, man, like,
Clearly, you've made up for
I
it
suck
just a little
too.
bit.
Trust me, I suck.
I think you've rebounded
I think you have
pretty
really-
okay.
Thanks. No, God has changed. He changed my life. It's literally all God. So, but when I moved back, we thought we were going to transition to a bigger city, and but somebody had told me about a job at the university working with internationals, and I'm like, well, let me at least look into it because we came back with very little savings. When you go abroad for ministry, you don't make much money, right?
you were
So
gone
we
for
don't have
8
much.
years,
We were
right?
gone
That's
for about 8
yeah.
years, yeah. And so when I moved back, we got a job at Auburn Global, or I got a job at Auburn Global, and it just kind of that opened my eyes to how many internationals were actually in Auburn, and that's when the idea for the business came and all kinds of
So
things.
it just started to get rolling when you got back.
When
and
I
then-
got back,
yeah.
I started it in December 5th, 2017 was the first day, and then I quit my job at Auburn Global
The next day.
February 23rd. No, it was definitely a process, but think about it. It's only
yeah,
2
sure.
months
No,
later.
that's
Yeah, 2
insane.
months. So
It really took off for you. That's
You're not even in it 2 years. You just kind of hit your 1 year,
yeah,
right?
we just did our 1 year. But
Yeah.
we opened January, that December, we opened like, I was going on my lunch break to go open up stuff, or like on the weekend. Like
Yeah.
we opened up 5 times in December. That January, we opened up like once because my wife went back to China for 3 weeks. And then this is when I'm like having this pride, like I'm thinking about like, I probably should leave my job. I can't ride the fence any longer. And just like I said, about, talking about faith and God and whatnot, like me trying to walk very, very intimately and hear the voice of God concerning my situation and what He has for us, like I sensed deep in my heart that a transition was about to take place, and I couldn't ride the fence. Like I either had to step
You
out
had
in
to jump.
faith, or I had to, just let the opportunity kind of pass by and it never become what it's supposed to be. So, ended up leaving my job, and then February we started hitting a little bit harder. But even then, we'd open like once a week, and it. Yeah, I mean,
How
1
many-
year for us. We didn't open that much.
No.
So
So it's just
Remember, you're only-
exploded.
Yeah,
it's
that's
been
that
nuts.
is amazing. That
It's
is
been
amazing.
nuts.
That's the best. That's I love that story. So you guys are not even open 5 days a week right now, or 6 days a week. Right. Well, right now, last week he had a baby.
Yay.
Yay!
Yes.
What is little Bambino's name?
Okay.
Do we have a name?
No, yeah, we're still
I hope
a little
it is.
bit. That's
Is
a
it
really
like-
good guess. That's really good.
I mean, your business is dumps like a truck,
Little
so I'm a
dumps.
little bit worried.
Little
Little
dump.
baby dumps.
We're like, we're gonna give her a really Chinese name, like little dong or something like that. But it's a girl. Okay.
Oh, it's a
Anyway,
girl.
that's my bad. My bad if you're listening.
No,
in.
no dong.
Wow, that's bad. So her first name is actually Odeya, and that comes from a Hebrew phrase which means like I will give thanks to God or give praise
That's
to God, like
pretty.
an ode to God. So we really want to. The names that we give her were not just for her and for it to be a reminder to her, but a reminder for us who are raising her.
Yeah.
So that every time we call her name, we're reminded of her purpose. And so that really just basically the purpose of her first name is your whole life can be worship to God. You don't have to go to a place and do this and do like everything you do, whether you play, you study, you communicate with people, whatever it is, that can be a love song to God. And then the second, her middle name is Arrow. Like you shoot an arrow, and that comes
like
from
that.
the scriptures as well, because we want to shoot her out into the darkest, hardest
He's
places.
way
on the
more
planet.
deeper than we are.
He's
I mean,
very-
it's-
He's like very
And he hasn't
deep,
even-
Amy. Like
I look very surface level when you talk to me. I guess I kind of
don't judge by the Puma sweatshirt.
I mean,
Which we
I
discussed
named my
out-
kid Holt.
I like that. That's good. He looks like a Holt. He's a good-looking Holt, shirtless
Go
Holt.
out in the world, Holt.
Yes.
just don't put on clothes.
I just wish I looked like that. We were talking about it before the show started, and like, oh yeah, you're a dad now, so you can like totally wear sweats all the time. I'm like, no, I outgrew all of my clothes. Like sympathy, I put on like 40 pounds. So like, yeah. Orange Theory. I'm a bad representative of Orange Theory now.
Do you go to Orange Theory?
I did, yeah, I do.
Kind
Rarely
of.
now. I mean, I go in there like, hey guys,
Well, you're
how are
kinda
y'all doing?
busy.
High fives, and then I leave.
I'm here for the high
But
fives.
yes,
Do you go to Vince's class?
I go to everybody's class.
Because Vince used to like kill me.
Yeah,
literally.
Vince the man.
Yeah, Vince, you hurt me. I forgot to tell you about that. I haven't know. I love Orange Theory too.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
amazing. Great community
They
as
are,
well.
very much so.
great. You can learn a lot about business
Yep.
from the way that they do things.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
Well, now that we know the baby's name and it's not Dumps or anything like that, I feel much better.
Hey, people gonna call her Little Dumps. I mean, I've gotten little outfits that say Little Dumpling and all that.
love it.
So,
Well, we're gonna. Speaking of dumps, let's have a sip of wine.
Okay.
good transition there. This is your third episode, right?
Did you like that?
That was really good. Yeah.
Thank
Notice
you,
that the
thank
bottle's
you.
already half
I'm
empty.
a journalism major, actually. People don't know that about me, but I am a journalism major.
Oh, nice.
Broadcasting. And then my broadcasting teacher told me not to go into broadcasting.
Oh, wow, wow.
Oh,
Kind
no.
of hurt my nose.
Well, you're pretty great at what you do.
Well, I wonder how they
Right,
feel
so-
about it now.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna
look
ask
now.
Bob Howell from WSFA about that because that was who my teacher was. Damn
Shout
her.
out.
All right, we're sipping. So
Okay.
today, they do not actually sell this at Charred Oaks,
Okay.
but they do sell the big sister, the more expensive sister
Version.
of that from your vineyards in California. This is Spanish. This is very hard to get wine. It is a little bit chilled because I kind of opened it last night because I was writing offers and I needed some wine.
Rough life.
So take a little taste because it's very different and you won't have this one every
My
single
little John
day.
Goblet.
This
You
time-
guys got your queen cups
That's
over there.
right. We're pimping.
feels so-
This is my
Okay.
partner in
We should
crime,
have
and
the
I am
thong song
road
going right
builder.
now, actually.
All right. What's okay?
No.
Errol's.
Arels.
We don't know.
Errol's. Okay. All right. Oh, I'm not supposed to look at it. My bad. Am I supposed to smell it first?
Yep.
Okay.
I already know what it tastes like.
That is very different.
Uh-huh.
Mm.
Don't spit it out.
He
No, I
spits it
like
back
that.
in
Hold
glass.
on. Ooh.
Yeah, it's most Spanish wines I'm familiar with are a lot like just the Italian table wines where they serve with dinner. It's very light, so it reminds me of that. But
Well,
it's
a
very
Grenache.
fruity.
It is very fruity. This is
Yeah.
from like a
Red.
very, very old vineyard. And I got it when I went to a dinner at Lucy's. Lucy's has wine dinners. Highly recommend it.
I need to go by Lucy's.
You
I've
do.
been meaning to go by there.
You
but
do.
then
They have an awesome
baby.
yeah,
But
you didn't baby
baby.
kind of get in the
Pre-
way of
pregnant
wine. Of
wife,
Get
wine.
ready
wife.
for all that, baby.
sciatica.
But it is very earthy, and anyway, the guy who is the owner of this vineyard is a master somm, and there's only like 250 master somms in the entire world.
Wow.
So he knows
That's
his stuff,
impressive.
and you can buy his stuff at Charred Oaks. This
So
is
how
just
much
not
is
something
the-
that you can get.
That's you said was the little sister.
Well, this is from a different vineyard. That I got this because I went to Lucy's. You know.
Okay.
I-
So that is
I
like
had a lot of wine at Lucy's, and I ended up with a case of wine
You
at
left
my
you
door.
with a barrel under your arm.
I was like, oh, what is this unusual credit card charge for a lot of money? And how did that happen? So I ended up with a
That's
lot
funny.
of like a case of this.
okay.
I don't have a
I'll
case
take
of it
two
now.
bottles.
Well,
with me,
it's
and I'll
about
off
fine.
you.
Party at your crib
But I don't
tonight.
So anyway, you can get his stuff at Charred Oaks.
Could you educate me really quickly? I don't want to derail anything,
Oh.
but like, so what you said a master somm?
Yeah.
Okay, what is that?
Ooh.
That's kind of like having your master's in engineering or something like that. It's like it is like extremely hard. You wouldn't think that, everybody's like, oh, he's just a somm. Well, getting your even being
Oh,
a
sommelier
sommelier is
is
very hard.
Big. That's
Ah.
she.
And
She
so
was
when you get-
abbreviating it.
I'm
now
sorry.
you know what it
I
is.
was slanging the somm word. I'm
so
sorry.
uneducated about wine. I lived in Central Coast for a while,
Well, that's-
wine country,
that's
and
how, yeah.
but didn't learn anything.
Well, so, you
Yeah.
should have gone. I would have been in the vineyards tasting wine
Mm.
every day. But it is. It's like there's so very few of them. When you see them, it's like, whoa, if you're a wine person, you
Yeah.
know, it's somebody
The
you
tests are
respect.
incredibly
They
hard.
are.
Really?
If you read like how many times they have to take the test because it's just so difficult, master sommeliers, I mean, it takes them a couple of tries,
Yep.
and I mean, I couldn't imagine. It's like a real big dedication.
Well, it is. It's years.
It's-
To
yeah,
getting your master's
it really
somm
is.
years of it, and it's a lot of agriculture
Mm.
from all over the country, and a lot of wine
World.
tasting. They make you tell you exactly what vineyard it's from. It's
Mm.
craziness. Hey, Wells, do we have anybody watching right now? Do we have it? If Meredith Davis is on there, tell her to give me
Ah.
the. Do you know Meredith?
I know of Meredith. I know
Yes.
Meredith.
We
Hi.
love Meredith. If she's on there, tell her to shout out the psalm for this one because it's Emmanuel, but I think it's Kamichi. I can't ever remember his last name. I'm old. I'm old. I forget things. So
I told people to watch Blindfolded.
I
Didn't
know.
actually,
I love
so
that.
thanks,
I need
yeah.
to bring that up real quick. So I wanted to do a Bird Box challenge, like pretend I was doing a Bird Box challenge as I walked in, like YouTube be sitting here and I just bust down the door with blindfold and I'm like, I don't think I should have driven here today. There's a lot of people mad at me. But maybe we'll save it for another show.
now you just ruined it. You've just
Aw.
freaking ruined
Full
it.
of surprises, Amy. Just wait.
Aw, you
Well,
spilled
I
the
know
We'll
beans.
that you
spice it up.
cannot. You're from Auburn, so you're not the ones making the dumplings. No.
My
Yes,
wife.
can
My
you?
wife is Chinese.
Yes.
So
right.
my wife, my wife. No, I'm terrible.
And-
We would not have a business if I was in the back. I'm the beautiful face.
You're in
up
the front. Yeah.
wearing my shirt.
You're
Really dirty
And
shirt.
we already found
But-
out that she's not mail order either. So
She's
that's
not
good.
Melody. She's right. I worked hard. for this chickadee.
Well, tell
So-
us about that. We all
Oh,
love a
no.
good
How'd
love
you meet
story,
her?
don't we,
So
Amy?
scandalous. So
story?
scandalous.
Oh, is it scandalous?
No, not really.
Oh.
Kind of, maybe, not a little bit. Okay.
We like scandal.
Cool.
We
around
like
here.
bring it
Well,
on.
not really. I mean, I went over to China, right? And I was going to work in a university. And so as a university teacher, I'm educating university students, right?
Students.
Anyway, saw this girl. I thought
Yada,
she was,
yada,
thought she was
yada.
real fine. Actually, the very first thing I said to her, "It was so bad." I'm like going over there for
So,
ministry.
do
I'm
you
like,
speak Chinese?
I speak some Chinese.
Some
I speak
now,
some
but when
Chinese.
you first got there and you meet her, are you like, yes, you are fine. The American.
Well, it's really funny because they want to speak. They need to practice their English,
Sure.
and so like when they would say something to me, that somebody gave me something, and they're like, you can shower with your friends. She meant to say share. It was like you can shower
That's
with
awesome.
your friends.
You're
Yeah, yeah.
like, oh, okay.
Yeah. So these little things would happen. It's just so. Oh, here's a funny story, really quickly. So the Chinese students they name themselves English names for these classes, and so some of them are really just hilarious. Some of them they're like somebody named himself Michael Schofield because because Prison Break is a big deal over there, right? They're okay. Anyway,
Yes.
entertainment wise, they can sometimes be 10 years behind. Sometimes, not always. Anyway. This student came up to me after the end of the semester. Her name was, I think, LF. Right? I have no idea why her name was LF. And she said, teacher, I really want to change my name. And I'm sitting here thinking on the inside, oh, thank God, this is great. This is better for, interviews and stuff going forward. Like, what do you want your name to be? She said, I want
FG.
you to name me Donkey. And I'm like, are you sure this is what you mean is donkey? And she's like, absolutely. Call me Donkey from now on. So that's these little fun things.
Donkey.
What
What did she think? I mean, pony,
Stories.
unicorn? I mean, no.
She probably had like another
She
idea
was
of what she was
thinking,
thinking,
I might
but
need
yeah.
to move to China and get a new name. That would be fun.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, I already am thinking of a list that we could go with. You don't need to move to China for that, Amy.
I know. I changed my name.
Don't you
a
get
lot.
called names a
Anyway,
lot?
we're gonna go back into that. Well, now go ahead with your romance.
Oh, okay.
Your
Story.
Well, I-
scandalous story.
I studied Chinese when I was
So
in
she
college
was the
at
one that wanted to
UAB,
be Donkey,
so-
right?
Was
No, I'm
that?
kidding.
Yeah, that's what I call her, Donkey still to this
Donkey
day.
dumps.
Donkey.
Donkey dumps. But they actually, in her part of China in the Northeast, you can find donkey dumplings. Like
Stop.
donkey has a feeling. I'm not lying to you. I swear
They
to
eat
you.
donkey.
I mean, there's certain restaurants.
I thought you
where
meant
there's
donkey
where
poop.
They do.
Okay, you meant you
Dumps,
didn't.
yeah. It's appropriate.
Dumplings,
I
not
mean,
dumping. Dude, whatever. Okay.
yeah, but it's dumps, whatever.
Okay.
We do make these puns where we're like, if we do delivery, everybody asks if we do delivery, we just can't handle the people in front of us. But when we, like on Sunday, if we do something for the Super Bowl, I'll probably deliver stuff. And so we
Nice.
say we'll leave hot dumps on your doorstep.
Oh, I love
Things
like
like
that.
that. That's pretty good,
I love
right?
it.
Flaming bag of dump.
Flaming bag, very steamy bag. You're ruining my business. No, I'm just kidding. You're gonna push people away. I'm just kidding. No, it's just
Oh
fun.
gosh.
No. But I went over there to teach, and yeah, she was totally one of my students. And so I went with the organization my first year, and I wasn't even sure I was going to be coming back. And so I mean, I was like, this girl is very attractive, and I got to know her because she was helping me like lead Bible studies with students and stuff, and over the course of the year, and I really, really liked her, and I shouldn't have liked her, but you know, you get in
But
your feelings,
love.
right? You get in your
Love.
feelings, and so like I was holding off on any kind of thing, you know, like saying like, hey, you want to go have some coffee or anything like that. I mean, anyway, so I wasn't sure I was going to come back. I thought I might actually be coming back because I only made a 1-year agreement to go, and when I felt like I was supposed to stay there after I left my organization that summer after my contract had ended, I felt confirmation that it was okay for me and ethical for me to move forward with a relationship with her.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
That
Yes.
is wonderful.
You're
But she
mature.
was my
You're mature.
student.
She was your student.
She's still
So
my
take
You
student.
were like, she's still.
But it's
I don't even know like innuendo, and I'm not even meaning this. It's just so.
All right, easy.
You know what? I need a sip.
Yeah,
of wine.
let's-
This is
I'm
for
not
hey
really-
wine, cheers, hey, cheers.
He's like coffee, wine, coffee,
What do I
wine.
do?
Hey, look, up or downer, just pick one.
I'm sleepy.
I know.
Baby was up last night real late.
Oh. Look, just
I'm a
wait
little
till you go
tired.
to
I'm a little
Target and
tired.
you realize you have vomit down your back, like dried,
Oh, yeah.
you know,
Oh,
spit
yeah.
up or something. No, it's coming.
I'm telling you, I might not. I might have a little boo-boo on me somewhere.
Yeah.
I'm still mastering the diaper
Oh.
change and everything. So
So when do we go back? When do we officially start back at the?
Mm.
Well, you said Sunday possibly.
that'll just be for Super Bowl. Last
Okay.
year we parked outside of Orange Theory and we did soup or bow Sunday.
Oh my
So,
gosh.
yeah.
There's so
I
many
love
puns.
it.
There's
It
so
is.
many
It was
puns.
good
I
stuff.
love
Good
it.
stuff. I get to exercise a little creativity.
Oh.
Well, we opened up a small takeout restaurant in mid-October, and we call it the Irritable Bao because it's focused on bao. It's Chinese students can get a very, very authentic breakfast there. So since we opened that, I think we've taken the truck out maybe once or twice since then.
Oh.
But the menu is very different. We're just trying to get that established. But we only open like Wednesday through Friday, and Saturday's kind of a floater. So
So if people want to know your menu, oh my gosh.
Again.
Oh,
All these
I'm
all these
sorry.
jokes.
before it even hit me, I was like, what?
After I said it, I'm sitting there. I was like, "Oh Lord, oh Lord." Oh,
I
Lord.
I've raised
You're
three
like
boys. I know all about
You've
that
raised
kind of-
boys. You have like,
I haven't, like, you know my mind.
Yeah,
It's
like
like
a
a
third
little
grader.
dirty sometimes.
So
Does
how do
it-
people find your hours? Like, if it's kind of changing here and there. And
Well, with the food truck,
So-
yeah, it would change.
yeah.
Like I would post up. Our entire business was built by word of mouth and social media. We
Okay.
don't
Yeah.
pay
So we'll
for
just-
advertising, nothing like that. So
Mine too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it's
awesome.
powerful.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's very, very powerful. And once you find the right people who want to support you, and then things just kind of take off. But we have set hours at the store. If those change, then the people who follow us on social media will know.
yeah.
If people who don't, I put a sign up. Like I just
Okay.
put a sign up saying we're closed. We just had a baby. She's awesome. Like go away for now, but come back. Please don't forget about us. The food truck. We'll always post everything that we do. The menu changes every single day with the bao fillings, and we post everything on Instagram and Facebook. But I think next week we don't want to get back in there too soon. Wifey needs to heal up, and but yeah, I think we feel.
So
we
if you're
feel-
just the face, she does all the cooking and preparation.
You have
You're
no
just
help,
like,
just y'all two?
I help here and there, but
Okay.
I don't do anything. I like mix the stuff.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
just
I
do what
stir.
You're
yeah.
definitely the student now.
I am.
Yeah.
I am I don't want to learn. Like I don't want a part of that. That's not my strength. I'm playing to my strength now, which is actually
Stay in
building
your
relationships.
lane.
Show
with
it
them,
in
staying
your
in my
lane.
lane.
Yeah.
Stay in my lane. But
That's
when
what-
she needs help, I will help. And so she does everything. I mean, she grinds. So even when she was, up until 3 days before we had the baby, she was on her feet 15 hours that Saturday.
That is
She's
incredible.
like my
You
hero.
fell in love with
She
her.
She's my
Yeah.
hero.
Yeah.
She's the most incredible person. Very strong-willed. Very, it's not all butterflies and
Right.
stuff. She is an incredible person. She makes me a better person. Without her, just this whole thing would fall apart. So, but yeah, she grinds. She grinds. So she does all the cooking. We have a few people back there here and there helping. A guy named Gus. He shows up every day that we're there, and he shows up. He just walks in. We
He
pay
shows up
him to
every-
be there. He's an employee of ours.
His last
Sorry,
name is
Gus.
Malzahn.
This guy just kind of walked
Gus was
in.
just
Yeah.
helping.
He shows up everywhere I go. There I am.
looking for a new job. But yeah, so we have a few people who come in and help us, and we've had volunteers just come in, and
That's awesome.
customers would be like, "Hey, you need some help making some coffee?"
I work for more dumplings.
all that good health code stuff. But we'd get friends would come in. I
Yeah.
had my old boss at Auburn Global. He came in one day and he just saw we were like in distress because of the crowd was so
Slammed.
busy, and so like he just came back there and started taking orders with me and slinging bow.
So,
Slinging
I wish I had
dunks.
a business like that.
I
I could
know,
just say
just
that.
all the words are so much fun.
I only call
Yeah.
myself the road realtor, and now
Yeah.
I'm feeling I need to change that up a little bit.
Yeah, it's too clean.
It's too,
The
you
road
know?
realtor.
Yeah, I don't know. I love that.
Yeah.
First of all, and I love that you say very positive things about your wife because
She's
Oh,
awesome.
absolutely.
you know
It's
some-
true. I'm not trying to
Yeah.
butter her up.
Right.
Butter her up as me trying to make a move on her, right? I'm not trying to make
She's
her
probably
appear
not
as like
ready
something
for
she's
that
not
right now.
gonna
She
be.
just had
Clearly,
to
you've
think.
Yeah.
put the moves on her
She's like,
already.
that's the last thing on my mind. So, but no, she is awesome. And let me say something positive about the community is like we wouldn't be here without the community either. People are just so supportive.
You've
and
been
they latched
embraced
onto us,
so
and,
well, and-
yeah,
and you
they
have-
help so much.
Right, and everybody loves your food, and also your involvement in social media. You post selfies of people that come in and see you, and shout outs, and people's names, and it's like that's huge,
Yeah.
It's important. So the community has embraced you and loves you.
You just want to make people feel special, you
Yeah.
know, like people. I love people. I'm a people person. I'm very relational. I want people to know how much we love them and value them every single time they come. Hopefully, sometimes we never want to reduce it down to a transaction. My wife will be the first one to say, if we're not here to sell food, we're here to serve people. And if it becomes the former, then we need to shut down. And so, like, I really, in my heart, I'm hoping to engage every single person, even if it's just for just for 2 seconds. And I have to crank people out, but my heart and my intention is to engage them, to love them, to try to listen even at times and say, God, what are you saying about this person? Is there anything that they need encouragement in some area? Do they need a free meal today? Anything like that. And so,
You truly have found your calling.
yeah, it's interesting. I just get to work hands-on with people. It's nice to be your own boss, and
Right.
you kind of decide things, and you don't have to. I answer to my wife. She gave me advice. She gave me advice the other night, sitting in the parking lot of Target before we went in and got like diapers and stuff. She's like, you probably shouldn't say this, and I'm being like, this is my job, leave me alone, like resisting and stuff. But she's so good.
I feel
She's
you on
very wise.
that. Don't mess
Don't
with me.
censor me.
She's very, very wise. So
That's
I
great.
have to try to humbly receive criticism.
Especially from somebody you respect,
Yeah.
Every now and then I'm like, okay, reel me in. If I need to be reeled in, my husband will say, or this one behind over here. That's child number 3 behind.
What's up,
working.
3?
And he's my Instagram police. He patrols me, and he'll say, do you know what you're talking about right now? Or you need to take that down. Do you not, Wells?
I heard Holt correct you on one of them. He's
Yeah.
like, you got to speak into the microphone. Stop floating.
You guys, I'm 5'1", and it's hard, and I need a phone book.
You
but
do.
Auburn's phone book. Do they even make phone books anymore? No.
No, because
No,
this
no.
is small
Phone
too.
books are
Ours
about
is
this big.
tiny.
So I have a very
I'll get
loud
you a
mouth,
booster
and usually
seat.
I feel you on the Auburn thing too. So I have a similar story when I moved to Auburn or into Alabama. I'm originally from Florida. I was like, I'm not gonna live in Alabama once the last person graduates. Now you couldn't drag me away. I love it. I love the community. It's
Yeah.
an awesome community, especially when you get involved. Like, you have to give back and get involved with the community, which is something that you do.
Yeah.
And it's a beautiful thing when all that happens.
That's when we started talking about establishing the local store, we really want that to be focused on the local community. So every penny of cash, it just changes hands. Every penny that comes in tip wise, and people tip generously when they know that
They know
it's going
what
to.
you're-
They know it's not even from. Like, I will not look at that. All I will do is count it and say, where can we spend it? So we want to be very, very personal and with how we spend the tip money out of it, because we want to be community driven. So we'll look for people like they can't pay their power bill. They need groceries. This person cannot afford gifts for their child for Christmas. Like, and it's not we're going out and doing these things, but it's the community who's
that's
actually
providing
sowing
it.
into the community, right? And so we want to also do. We call our fans dumpsters, and so it sounds kind of self-degrading, but it's kind of a cute way
No, it's
to identify
fantastic.
yourself. It's like,
I
I'm a
think
dumpster, right?
yeah.
And so we want our dumpsters, and we're hoping that now that we have a central location, it's very small, but now that we have a location that we don't bounce around all the time, we can actually gather people together, kind of like Church of the Highlands.
Yeah.
They have the Dream Center, and they gather people together for First Saturday Serve, and they send people out into the community to just bless people. And that's what I want to do,
That's
because
fantastic.
we're not a faith-based organization. I'm a faith-based person, but we get people. I don't care what your background is, your sexual identity, your gender, your belief, your politics, whatever. Like, I don't care. Something about you, and I told Tony this before. Whenever you put your hand to the plow and actually work to serve others, like, something inside of you comes alive. And so we don't just want to like impact the community by doing good deeds. We actually want to help people come alive by participating in what we do. So.
I love that.
So inspiring.
I know. I feel like such
You
a
are
loser.
fantastic.
I'm a loser right
Oh,
now.
I know, right? I step up your game, Amy. Hold on.
Nah,
Just a second.
I'm just it's just fulfilling. You got to find
No,
the thing that fulfills
absolutely.
you, and
I do.
for us, and
I
I
agree.
think that everybody has something inside of them, their DNA, that if they tap into it, it will be very life-giving. Like, to quote scripture without getting all spiritual, Jesus said, like, when he was talking about bread and whatever with his disciples, he said, my bread is to do the will of the Lord, right? To do the will of God, my Father, right? So there's something very nourishing about what he did. So it was actually satisfying his soul and nourishing him. And so the same thing I think goes with us, is that when we do something, like, my bread is to serve this community. So people are like, how do you have so much energy all the time? Well, I feel
It
like I
fuels
have
you.
empowered.
Yeah,
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 like I'm
fuels
getting
you. Yep,
nourishment
absolutely.
from doing those things. So.
Have we even said where your storefront is? The address? Where is it?
196 North Donahue, right next to the goalpost.
Yeah,
I think a lot of people know that location.
They do know that location.
If you're OFA especially. So what did it used to be? Do you remember?
Man, when I was in high school, it for a short time was oh gosh, Sandy Freeze for a very short time.
Yes,
Then
so all the for real OFAs
yeah.
that have been here forever and ever know and love the Santa Freeze. And
Yes.
so I was happy that you did something with that space. The goalposts, I mean, that whole little string has been there forever and ever.
Yes.
And so I just love that. And hearing the story just makes it, I mean, the Santa Freeze is there and it's still, and it's up and running and you guys are in there doing what you do. And it's just the whole story's all the feels,
Yeah.
all the warm and fuzzies.
We're super blessed to be there. It's so funny. We were driving by and we needed a new commissary, a new kitchen. And I was like, I wish whoever was in there would be gone. Is what she said. And then like we needed something, so I went and looked in the window. I'm like, this place looks run down.
Yeah.
It was another business, and it was bad when we first got. It was so just bad. And anyway, when we moved there, we were like, man, is this the right place where we belong? On paper, it looks really good. The lease and all this kind of stuff. It looks like it's a good spot. It's just going to require a lot of work. And then what I used to judge whether this was the right place or not was, you know, when people would come up to me, like people would come visit some of our friends and family, they'd come and see us. But when people would come up off the street and like we would be able to like minister to people because the goalpost and the liquor store is right next door. So this, I mean, I'm talking about like it was midnight. We're in there working on the store. This dude, he's drunk. His uncle just got out of prison. Very big dude too, very intimidating. And so like, but we were talking. Me and my buddy Daniel Ross was actually with me at that time, and he's very intentional with the way he loves people. And we just got to sit down with him, and this dude just started breaking down. Cause big guy just started breaking down, crying because we were talking about purpose of life and all this, and we got to like pray with them and just kind of like be like. Go forth in your identity. And it was like that, those kind of instances where we got to meet with people on a corner that's been there for a long time, but that people come to mostly for other reasons.
Yeah.
You know, that was like, this is exactly where we belong. At least right now. Now we have parking issues.
I bet,
restaurant,
right?
Another restaurant over there really just despises us.
I don't know what
yeah, so God bless them.
They shall nameless.
Shall remain nameless unless you read what we write. Because we try to tell them, like, please don't park in these people's parking. We always tell them, but there's only so much you can do, you know? I can't, like, control where people park.
And finding a good place in Auburn is not, well, we sell real estate and it's not cheap.
No,
Rent is not cheap.
It's not. It is not cheap.
That is the thing.
Yeah.
I pass by there. He lives really close to where you are. So I'll pass by there and I see lines and people all the time. It's crazy.
It doesn't make any sense.
What are your hours though when you're open? That's another thing.
Like, regular hours, okay, would be Wednesday, Thursday, Friday from 7 a.m. until it was 1 p.m., but I think we're going to extend to 2 p.m.
Okay.
Because this Bao is more breakfasty, brunchy in China, and so that's what those hours will be. But I think going forward, when we start bringing on more people, then we'll probably have to find a new location. Yeah. So if you're a builder, if you're anybody out there that knows of a place, I'm for real. Then we can start thinking about, you know, we still want to remain mobile with the food truck, but we do want to offer more of a culinary experience with dumpling. We'll keep it dumpling focused, bun focused, bao focused, but we want to kind of extend our hours even more. We kind of built into the blueprint time with family.
Yeah.
You know, if you open a business and you're like, hey, I'm gonna open 6 days a week, and then it doesn't go the way that you hope. Well, first of all, demands. Even if we had demand like this all the time, anyway. I don't want to get into the supply demand kind of thing, but it's. If you decided to scale back, people will think something's wrong. It's business psychology. They'll be like, what's going on with this place? And it could change the whole perception of what you do. But we just really value family. I really value mentoring young men. I really value what I enjoy doing, and therefore I don't want to reduce my life down to a job, whether it's my business or not. And it already controls. Even if we open 3 days a week, we still work 60 hours. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
at least 60 hours. We drive and get our groceries and. So
well, I think it also too. So this reminds me a little bit of the Chick-fil-A concept, where if you're not open, then people really want it.
Really want it, yeah.
They do.
Right.
And they can't have it, then they want it more. And so this is like that whole the mind thing. So
exactly.
Don't oversaturate the market with certain things, but we have We have our own
Were
little
you the
place.
guys the first food truck in Auburn?
No,
I-
there's this dude named Bo. Listen, this
Bo?
guy, Bo has been around for like 15 years, and so he actually paved the way for all food trucks like coming into Auburn. Like for the health department, they're like, I don't know what you're supposed to do
Permits
with this.
and all that, yeah.
So they had to go to Montgomery and stuff. Bo was very instrumental. I don't want to tell you where he lives, but he's got multiple food trucks on his property. He doesn't use all of them, but he usually goes into Opelika and sells food.
Okay.
Like hot dogs, barbecue,
Yeah.
very simple things like that. But then Clint Rogers also is Big Blue Crawfish.
Blue,
He's
yeah.
opening right down there. He was very instrumental in helping us. I mean, we got some. I'm talking about the community.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say
The
it's all the
community is
food truck
amazing.
people just really support one another,
Yes,
because they all
yeah.
understand what goes into it and
Yeah.
how,
Uh-huh.
arduous it could be to get something like that up and running.
Mhm.
I think you're buddies with my girls at Whimsy Beverage, aren't you?
Yeah, they're awesome.
They
yes,
are
yes. Jasmine and Victoria.
I love
they're-
them.
We need to get them
They're-
on too.
I know they're so cute.
Yeah, they're very cute. They're passionate about what they
Very
do.
much so.
and
They know their stuff. That's
Mhm.
for sure.
they know their stuff. They're
I have a good story about that one. So I was at the food truck at Whimsy Beverage.
Mhm.
I love it. This is like I love this story.
Yeah.
And I had never. I was introducing myself, and I had never done that. Well, I was standing next to a nice guy who's actually from Tuskegee, and I'm getting this coffee. Little did I know it was a $10 cup of coffee, but it was really good and had all kinds of good stuff in it. And he bought it for me. Never
Yeah.
met me
Aw.
before. It's all about like paying
Paid
it forward. And thank God because I didn't have my credit card on me.
Oh, that's funny.
And he didn't
Get in here and
even
wash some
know
dishes.
You
that I didn't have
planned
my
it the
credit-
whole
Yeah.
time.
That one had the credit card, not me. And so I was like, oh crap.
Yeah.
And it was just weird like that. But yeah, that's the community sometimes.
And
And
there-
it will shock you when you think, "Ugh," then somebody
Mm-hmm.
just does something really nice like that. So
Well, they're the kind of people who, if you're like, hey, I totally forgot, they would be like,
yeah,
just come back if you can
Yeah.
and pay us later. Or
Absolutely.
they'd probably be like, this is on the house or something. They're just that, don't go over there and do that. They
No,
businesses
no,
need
you gotta
support.
say,
But you know what
now
I'm saying?
you know who to
They're that
blame.
kind of people. They're those kinds of
Yeah,
people. And
sure.
so local community real quick. I wanna plug my buddy Chewy, and I wanna plug because we're talking about local community. Chewy over at Taqueria. My Spanish sucks. Durango over there at near the
yeah.
gas
Oh, yeah.
station. So he served as our commissary. I didn't even know him that well, right? And I just was got a buddy named Will Lane. He introduced me to him. I've probably been there to get tacos once or twice, but I walked in there and he's like, "Yeah, man, you need a commissary. I got your commissary." And I'm like, well, I don't barely know you. And so he built a relationship with me just because he was available, and like he was the. If we didn't have Chewy at that time, it would have been extremely hard for us to do anything or establish anything. And so he is just an
Amazing how it all
extremely
works out like
good
that sometimes.
guy. Yes.
That's great. Yay,
Yes.
Chewy.
Chewy is amazing.
We love you.
Jesus.
Jesus.
Something little something.
Look, I don't do the Spanish.
Good man. Go over there. Tell him we sent you. Tell him to give you a discount as well. Where's my dumps discount? What you talking
Yeah.
about, man?
well, anything else you want to say?
Nah, man, I can do
You've
this
been
all day.
I know we love. I
No,
know
this is
it's
fun.
so
Good,
easy.
we-
It's fun.
It's
so
easy to keep on going.
It
Yeah,
is with
yeah.
the podcast especially, but I so appreciate you being on
Could-
here.
Do you have like T-shirts to
Yeah.
sell?
You need T-shirts.
She could help you with that.
Oh, word?
I love T-shirts.
Oh, yeah.
I love good
She
T-shirts.
does all the
I am.
T-shirts.
I'm quite.
Aight.
I'm wearing one called Wife Life today, just because I feel like
Feeling wifey
maybe-
today?
Not really. I mean, but I'm trying. And my husband's very, very sweet, so I'm like trying to represent.
See, look.
What does your Instagram say? Like wife sometimes or
Yeah,
something? like
yeah,
that?
yeah,
I
it
thought it
does
was hilarious.
exactly that.
I thought it was
So
hilarious.
today it's Wife Life.
Mom.
Yeah, mom
Occasionally,
maybe.
maybe.
Sometimes.
Mom said, yeah, that's right, yeah.
yeah.
Merch, yes, we are working with a place called Christie's Monogramming, and they're in Dadeville. One of our customers, her name's Kristen. Her and her family are just great people, and she works out in Dadeville. And so we're gonna use them. We have a girl named Elizabeth Sugg who won our contest, and she's become a part of our family. And so like we did a logo design contest where you get free dumplings for life if you win.
I saw that.
All this
Yeah.
kind of
Sweet.
stuff. She blew it out of the water, and then she helped us with the irritable bowel thing. So anyway, so we're getting her to put together some shirts, and so like all the money that comes in, we'll just go to the kids. We don't need the money
Oh,
for the
that's
stuff.
so
We'll just
great.
give it. So it'll be an opportunity. So we'll sell them. I mean, they're expensive to make. We're gonna
They
do,
are
Yeah.
We're gonna do
expensive.
hoodies. We're gonna do those big white, soft, comfortable things for like college girls, you know.
Yep.
And so it'll be.
You're
be
gonna.
fun.
You will love. I mean, that'll knock it out of the park.
You're
I'm just
doing-
excited about
yeah.
marketing, but
Yeah.
then like these kids are gonna get
Yeah.
so much more just because people
That's
are
awesome.
rock our gear.
I love that.
Well, if you're not already on his Facebook and Instagram, you need to like it. Watch his stories. They're awesome. They're funny and always inspirational. And so this was such like.
Well, I have one more question because now I'm
we're-
thinking his wife is Donkey, but her name really is Donkey. So
I don't know that
on our
you
way out, what is your
mentioned.
wife's real name? You didn't say that.
Her Chinese name is Li Kunyu.
Okay.
Lee
I like
Kun.
that.
So
That
the
was
last name
easy.
is Lee. Kunyu is first name, but they switch it around in China. Her English name is Desiree.
Desiree.
Oh,
French,
so
I
that's
guess.
what she
So
picked, right?
That's what she picked.
I
She's like, I
love
think
it.
it's kind of like Desiree, so everybody calls her Des.
I
Big,
love it.
Big D.
Big deal.
Oh, this is hilarious. So this is y'all will like this real quick. So there's these specially made peanuts in China, and they're so good. And we've only sold them like once or twice, but because she makes them, we totally call them D's nuts.
Yes.
D
it
apostrophe
just
S
keeps
nuts.
going.
It's-
I
And they're
know.
so good. I'm spitting all over the place.
There's
You
no
probably got a little in your wine,
insight
your
of
wine
all
goblet.
the puns that can be made with the names and all of that. I mean, we need to even get
fun.
Donkey on the shirt or
I
something.
know.
Teacher, call me Donkey.
Hashtag-
I wonder. I probably got her on this. There's this app called WeChat, and I bet I could probably find
Oh, that's
Donkey on
awesome.
there. I'm like, yo, Donkey, you became a meme.
Donkey. You're amazing. Thank you so much for being on our show
Thank you.
in between two Amy's.
Yeah. No. Yes. These are two babies.
No, we're
You're
not
not
the
just
one.
hearing baby.
We've been there, done
Yes.
that a couple times.
Yeah.
But enjoy that little bambino.
Yeah.
I will. Thank you guys for having me. I really
Oh,
appreciate
thank you
it.
for
It's
coming.
an honor.
Yay.
It's an honor.
All right.
Peace out. Peace
Dumps
out.
like a truck. Bye.
Podcast
Bye.
land.